Today's video, we're going to talk about water damage restoration PPC and how to make money doing PPC for restoration services. Water damage restoration, as well as a side, mold restoration, fire restoration as well. I'll talk about those as well. We've ran multiple water damage restoration campaigns in the last 10 years of running this firm at Guaranteed PPC. And I'm going to tell you how we specifically got to around a $300 lead cost and currently run 2 different campaigns and at around that lead cost with the 25% booking rate and so forth, so that you can replicate this for yourself if you're trying to get campaigns to work. Water damage restoration services is like one of the most competitive niches to be in. And so if you're not really trying everything that you can try to get your ads to work in this space, forget about even trying to make it work at all, because you're completely schooled by the other people in your niche market, unless you're out in a rural area. And in that case, maybe you can make it work. But if you're in a major market, Denver, Chicago, you got to really step up your game and use these strategies I'm going to teach you to do on this particular video and put it in place. Even though they may not be so easy to do, anybody can do them, and you can certainly put this in place and it'll pay for itself. So if you were struggling to get your restoration services campaigns to work before watching this video, or just want to get into doing restoration services because you're looking to get into the business or whatever, this will tell you a lot about what the business is like and trying to get ad campaigns to work for it. So, and then if you stay to the end of the video, I will give you the more details on the case study of the different water damage restoration companies we worked with and how they're getting results, and how actually also it will vary market to market, geographically, city to city, in terms of your lead cost, your ROI, and so forth. So with that said, before I get into the content and get into what ads we're running for this to make this work at that kind of cost related, and talk about the ROI that generated. If you don't know who I am yet, I am Corey Zyman, owner of Guaranteed PPC, a online advertising agency that specializes in guaranteeing results for their clients. That is, we do not charge our clients management fees until we can get them a certain minimum lift in their profitability of their ads up front, in excess of basically what our management fee is. So we're basically getting ourselves paid out of the increase in profit we're bringing the client up front on their campaigns. And we do that to show off our results, and we'll give them a free trial essentially with that, so you know that we can get results and how good we are. We're happy to do it. With that said, no other agency on the planet offers any kind of similar contingency guarantee, because they can't do it. They don't get results at a high enough rate. And that should tell you something about the information that you're receiving on this particular video. We're able to do that because I'm the key strategist of every campaign that I work on. I'm doing the strategy at our firm for clients, and been doing advertising on Google and other platforms up to 20 years now. So, and been operating our firm guaranteeing results for clients for 10 plus years now. So with that said, getting into the content. Basically 4 steps to the process of getting your Google search ads to work for your business, or PPC ads if you want to call them that. What we found is you're going to typically, like a lot of markets, want to get your Google search ads and then right away move everything you're making there over to your Bing ads account. And with that said, because it's so cutthroat, everybody wants to get into the restoration services business, because what do you have to do? Any guy could get into this business. They don't even need anything. They literally could just set up a campaign, answer the phone, say, oh, you need a water damage restoration company? Okay, what's your address? Hang up the phone, call another restoration services company, say, I need a subcontractor right now. I want 10% of this job. Will you do the work? Yes, you will. Okay, boom, hang up the phone. You don't even need anything. With it being that easy to get into business, there are going to be a lot of people trying to compete against you, not only just legitimate companies in the area, but marketers who are trying to sell leads, subcontract the work out themselves, or get the leads and then sell the leads onto other businesses in the area. And half the market, in a lot of markets, it's just lead sellers getting the leads and reselling them. And they drive up the lead cost. And then not only that, but they're doing a lot of click fraud on top of it. Any market where it's that easy to get into it and the cost per click is that high as it is in the restoration services space, 80% of the time there's click fraud involved. And if you don't know how to get rid of click fraud, you're never going to make money. And it's actually, for the average person trying to understand what to do, forget about it in terms of getting rid of that click fraud on top of it. ClickCease ain't going to do to get rid of your click fraud either. Most people are figuring this out about ClickCease, but with that said, you got to really know what you're doing to compete with the big boys. That is professional marketers who spend all their time just learning how to do advertising strategy the right way, not even just regular business owners you're competing against. So with that said, the first thing you're going to do to set up your search campaigns is to find the 500 plus ways that people are searching for water damage restoration services, flood damage water restoration services, sewer damage restoration services, and the like. And there really is over 500 different unique ways people search for this. I know because we run campaigns in the space. And when I say 500 unique terms, I do say that are going to want to set up single keyword ad group campaigns in order to have an edge in your market and actually get it to work. That is, you're going to have unique ad copy that you're going to write a unique laser targeted ad for each keyword variant that you're targeting. And if you don't know which keywords Google will let you bid on, because if you bid on a keyword that doesn't have enough searches, Google will say in the status column of your keyword, search volume too low, you can't bid on this. You set up a test campaign where you throw all your would-be keywords in there, activate the campaign, see if that message shows up. If it doesn't, you have a keyword that you're going to target. Then when you write all your ad copy, you know you're not wasting your time. That basically is your very first step. Second step is to create a unique ad for each, okay? Now, here is the exact ad copy. This is $1 million strategy for you here in and itself to figure out the ad that's going to get the highest click-through rate, because the highest click-through rate is necessary to make the cost per lead come down to the $300 or so range you need to make money. And that is, you have the very first headline, have the keyword that the user typed in Google. So if they typed in floodwater removal service, you need to have that in the headline. And if the keyword's short enough, you're going to put in and then the name of the city. Meaning, but on top of this, I mean, not Chicago, but Lincoln Park or the suburb name. And to do this, you're going to have a different campaign for each suburb and city within the metro area that you're in. But if you really want this to work, trust me, this is what you need to do, because it gets your click-through rate up higher than your competition. And Google wants to send all the business they can to the top guys. And then in the restoration services space, in any kind of sizable market, top 50 city, there's 15 other guys cycling in and out of those top 4 ad spots. So either pull your panties up, do this stuff the right way, or you're wasting your time. And it's not going to be easy just because you want it to be. If it were easy, the marketers would have already taken the leads, sold them to you, and made a markup on them already. So that's your first headline. Now, if the city name won't fit in the first headline, then the second headline needs to be in city. So this part, in city, goes the first part of the second headline. All right. Then you're going to say 60-minute response. Or if the city will fit in the first headline, then you're going to say on the second headline, immediate 60-minute response is the best headline that I've found. Then your third headline is going to be insert the number of years in business that you have, 24 years in business. Why? Because that conveys trust better than anything else that we've found. Because there's 3 things that they always want to know in your ad right away. Can you do it? You cover my area. Can I trust you? And they want to know it in that order. So that's why this ad here pulls the best out of anything else that we found. Now, if you want some bonus results, then what you want to do, on top of having a different campaign for each suburb, you want to have a campaign for 2 campaigns for each suburb. One campaign that's going to run during regular business hours, one campaign that's going to run non-business hours. So that instead of 24 years in business, you use that space on the third headline for operating 24/7, 365. Because people are more questioning when they're looking, because you got to realize, you got to put yourself in the user's shoes. What ad do I decide to click on here? Whatever is the least confusing to the user is going to be the one they click on, because they want to put as little effort in as possible to get what they want. You do too. So don't complain that I shouldn't have to make a unique ad for this and that and this, because this is what you want as a user as well. So don't be a hypocrite. Saying you operate 24/7, 365 indicates to the user when they're calling at midnight with that broken pipe that they're actually going to get somebody on the phone if they actually call. It's not going to be like, leave a message, we'll get back to you tomorrow. So there is your ad that you're going to use. Now for step 3, you got your landing page. The landing page, live or die by this landing page. The landing page needs to be able to convert 40% if you're really going to make everything work the way that you want. Now, short term, you can get by with 15%, but your goal is to get it up to a true 40. And a lot of that's going to come after running the campaign for a while, because Google actively is going to send the traffic that's least likely to convert to the person who's the new guy or the person who's doing a shitty job as an advertiser for them. namely bad click-through rates, bad conversion rates. And they know who's likely to convert and who's not before they actually have a chance to show if they're a good converting user by looking at all the things that that person's ever done before they made that search and compare it to every other person who's ever bought and not bought from the space by looking at all your competitors' campaigns over time. And that's how they figure it out. And so the person that they want to stay around because their users a really good experience on Google, they want to give them the best leads possible based upon people that are the most statistically likely to convert. They want to send it to the guy they want to encourage to stick around. The new guy that is probably going to be here and gone tomorrow, they're going to get the shitty leads that are the least likely to convert. And that's how it works now. See, that's why I say you either have to go and pull your panties up and do this all the way, or you're wasting your time. Because Google doesn't care if you stick around if you're not going to help them improve the ad space. You either have to do something better than what's there, or you're wasting your money. But with the landing page, to get that kind of a conversion rate, part of it is understanding the art of laying out information on a landing page so that people get the information that they need within a couple seconds. Do you do it? Do you cover my area? Can they trust you? And part of that just means you have different landing pages for different users because you can't communicate all that well without doing that. Just like with the ad, you can't communicate that stuff efficiently with one ad for everybody like everybody wants to do, and they're spoiled and they're lazy and they don't want to put together unique ads for different users. You got to do this with your landing page as well so that when the user types in water damage restoration company and they're in Lincoln Park, they get an ad that says water damage restoration company in Lincoln Park, and then they click on that ad and they get a headline on a landing page that says water damage restoration in Lincoln Park. Don't be like, oh, can't I do this or can't I just do it this way? You can do anything you want. When you don't get the cost per lead that you want, you know what you got to do, which is to do it the way that I'm telling you to do that I've done on several campaigns now. I would love that I didn't have to do all this. I could just work with a client and we just put one landing page together, spend 10 minutes setting up the campaign, we're done. They wouldn't need us if that were the case. PPC agencies wouldn't exist. This is how it worked in 2010. It's not like that anymore. And especially since Google's going to divvy out the best leads to the person who helps them out the most, who help their users out the most. Landing page wise, to make it a unique experience for their users so you can actively have a better conversion rate than your competition that you're showing up next to. So Google prefers to send the best users to you, charges you the least amount of money per click for those users. You need to first start off with a landing page for water damage and then one landing page, parent page for sewage damage. Why? Because those are two distinct major different categories. So the image that you have on the site needs to match up with whatever service, either water or sewage. And I know that's kind of gross, but that's what you got to do. The visuals on the page should go to support the text. So, because if they get to a page that says sewage removal and then you have some floodwater in the basement showing on your main hero image on the top of the page, it's just not going to convert the same. They're going to think this headline on this page was auto-generated, or it makes them less confident to call you, basically. Any tiny little thing makes a person less likely to call that you don't do the way that I'm saying. And you can only afford so much inefficiency in your ads before you're not profitable anymore. So you can take all the shortcuts you want, it's just going to cost you. So once you've got those parent pages, then you're going to, for the water side of things, you're going to have a unique page for water removal, and then a unique landing page for water damage restoration, reconstruction, basically. And it's kind of hard on some of the keywords to realize do they need water removal or reconstruction services? You do the best you can. And if you're not sure, what I would recommend you do is make 2 ads within that ad group for that keyword that represents that keyword, and send half the traffic to the one, half the traffic to the other, and let Google, through their own machine learning, find the one that converts the best for that particular keyword. On the sewage page, you don't need to have different pages. You have just one for sewage altogether. And then with all that said, that's just the start. Now you have to, once you've done all that work to create those landing pages, create a unique landing page for every single keyword of the 500 plus keywords that you're targeting, so that you can have granularity in what you're doing, so that you don't just have a page that kind of matches the keyword, exactly freaking matches it. So if they type in sewage damage company. They get a landing page that says sewage damage company in and the name of my neighborhood in it, so that it can't get any more relevant than that. So, I mean, you can not do all this stuff and you can run your ads and eventually the algorithm will help get you results, but it's going to waste so much money. It's so expensive to do these ads anymore. You know, the cost of doing it the right way, even if it cost you 20 grand to set this whole matrix up the right way, it's still a drop in the bucket because you're going to waste another 50 grand in ad spend just to hit profitability with your ads, not going ahead and doing all these things. It's going to be worth it all day long to have the right setup and then launch with that right setup. What most people will do is they'll say, oh, fuck that. I don't need that setup. Who the hell does he think he is? Just trying to sell me services here. I just need to set up this ad myself and I can do it. And then their ads are just going to not work. And then they're going to try to do it another way and another way. Then they'll hire a cheap firm and another cheap firm and another cheap firm. And then they'll really finally realize this is hard. And again, if it were easy, your competition would have already been doing it already. They don't think this through. Like, seriously, everybody knows what Google Ads is. Who's the one that gets to make the millions on it versus somebody who makes nothing? The person who does more. More is the key. So unique pages for every single keyword, unless the keyword is like services and service, that would be the only exception, like plural, non-plural versions of keywords where you can use the same page, but respectively, that's what you need to do. If you're serious about making money with this, you have to do it this way. And then finally, fourth step here is opportunity level tracking and smart bidding. So because there's a lot of click fraud in this space, in almost every single market that I've been in, there's been click fraud in the water damage restoration services space. You got to be able to weed out the click fraud. And the main way that you do that, at least long-term, there's short-term methods that I have that are proprietary, that if you have problems with this, you can reach out to my firm and I'll tell you about it. With that said, click fraud, the best way to truly weed it out is to, when a lead is qualified, you pass that information back to your ad account so that the system can see what's actually brought you a result that you're looking for. So it can weed out the people that are like people that don't turn into a qualified lead. And ideally the sales amount, the revenue amount along with that. What you do is you set up your account to do tracking of phone calls and form fills, what little amount you get, which is almost none for this. But I would track it anyway. And if you want more results, I would do live chat as well, by the way. That said, you're going to set up the tracking to track all these leads. Then you're going to set up separate tracking goals to track whether a lead was qualified or not. And you're going to build that qualified lead level data up in the background. Your goals are going to be marked secondary for a while. But once you've built up 100 qualified leads, then you're going to switch all your campaigns in the campaign goal settings menu to optimize for the qualified leads instead of just leads in general. The reason why you do that is because it's going to help you get up to profitability sooner, optimizing for leads alone, because you're going to build up data quickly using the lead level data alone. Whereas long term, if you want the most results, the system's going to be more accurate at doing what it needs to do if it's optimizing based upon qualified lead data / profit data, because the leads can come with the revenue amount or at least an estimated revenue amount, and you can then optimize on the level of profit. And where there's an opportunity that you were being outbid before because you weren't going to pay $100 a click or $200 a click, the system realizes, okay, this person's 10 times more likely to turn into a sale than somebody else coming through. You're going to bid higher for that individual unique person, and you're going to be able to outbid somebody because you've given it the data to know that that person usually converts better than somebody else, if that makes sense. So you have opportunity level tracking with smart bidding. So eventually you're optimizing on profit. Saying I want a 400% return on investment, the system just goes and it does it. And if you're feeding the data correctly, it will work, so to say. But you got to have a lot of offline conversion tracking data to do this. And this involves, tracking the Google Click ID when a lead comes in using a CallRail account. And then when a qualified lead is verified as qualified, you pass that back to Google Ads. There's several ways to do this, as well as the revenue. That's what you do. So that's the other tip. Really have an edge on your competition, and more than that, to be able to weed out all the damn click fraud that you get in this space. So that's the whole overall system. If you want to know more in detail on these individual systems, on how to set up a single keyword ad group campaign that works, landing pages, how to make a local service landing page work, which I've got a specific video that you can search for on this channel, local service landing pages, on how to exactly lay your page out for results. you should check that content out. And not only that, but you should subscribe to this channel, because the information you're getting on this channel comes from somebody who's got 20 years of experience advertising on Google as well as other ad platforms online. And I spend 40 hours a week doing ad strategy for our dozens of clients that we have. Of that, everything that works and what doesn't work, I give a tutorial on to do or how to stay away from on this channel. And so if you want to learn from somebody in the weeds actively doing this stuff and learn from the best as a result of that, you want to subscribe to this channel. And if you're serious about making money with ads, you want to subscribe to this channel, learn from myself. Most of the yahoos that are on YouTube talking about ad strategy don't even run any damn ads, or they run a couple ads. They ain't really doing it. And therefore, the information's bogus. They're just trying to sell you a course or make money off of advertising revenue. They really aren't ad strategists at an advertising firm with tons of clients. And so, therefore, you can't rely on that information at all, really. With that said, on top of it, if you like the channel, I also have a fantastic blog on my site that I write. You can find that at guaranteedppc.com/blog. The blog actually lays out the strategies we're using to guarantee results for our clients. The step-by-step is all there with the screenshots, with everything you need to use it. So if you like the channel, you should definitely check that out as well. As a side, if you're looking for and you have any questions, you weren't quite sure on what you should do for your restoration services company, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel, usually within 24 hours. So with that said, that is water damage restoration. Now, if you're going to add to it because you probably do mold removal and crime scene cleanup and fire damage restoration services, everything I laid out here is basically the same way. And there's nuance to it, if you will, but that's, you're doing the same, it's the same principles apply. Now, I will say that a lot of the restoration services companies that I've dealt with in the past, they say, oh, I want water damage calls, because you don't have to work very freaking hard to make money with water damage calls. Someone calls, hey, I need somebody. Okay, what's your address? Done. And then they just make money. They don't want to have to actually go out and quote and have a sales process that works and script the sales process in order to get the reconstruction job right, to get it and close it at a high enough rate to pay for the ad spend or whatever. And what I'm telling you is because nobody else wants to do that damn work, that's where the damn opportunity is. So you shouldn't just shun everything but water calls unless you really want to be everything I said on this video, doing every bit of it. And then on top of it, wait even longer to get a return, because fire damage and crime scene cleanup, you can get a return in a third of the time than you can with water damage calls, because less people want to deal with it because they want instant freaking gratification. Water calls, and they want them now. And so that's the way of the world. It takes longer to get a return on advertising the more competitive the market is. Unless you can do substantially something different, that you're better than everybody else in the market, where when it comes to water damage restoration, you can't. The only differentiator you have is who answers the phone, yes, but the ad campaign and how sophisticated you are. Can you set up an ad campaign better than your competition? Which, by the way, you can also study all the information about what you need on this channel about how to make an ad campaign work for your business. But if you just want results, you want to pay somebody who can get you guaranteed results, that is exactly what I do for clients that are firm. We've done it several times in the restoration services space already. Reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com if you are interested in having a conversation with me about that. I can tell you what results we can bring for you in your local market, given each local market is going to be a little bit different from another local market, and then what we can guarantee for you. We also can sell you the winning ad template that works for this niche market or another business or another market you would like to get in even. If you want to just take all the ads, landing pages, all of it that we've already developed for the restoration services market, for all the, not only water, but fire, mold, crime scene, you can literally buy that from us for a one-time fee, copy paste that into your ad account and get the same results we're getting after a break-in period. Because even though you have the best ad, best landing page, all of it, it's going to take time to get broken in. The algorithm's got to see how good it is, like I was talking about before. But if you are interested in that, you can also let me know, and I'll tell you what you can get as far as results in these other categories that I didn't necessarily focus on in this video. Overall potential is from it, and then what the fee is that we charge for that. You can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com if you're interested in that. We've got other people that want to also start businesses, by the way. They just take our list of templates, they look down the list, they say, oh, I want to start that business, and they'll take the template, copy, paste the ads into their ad account, and they're in that business already. Selling product, other home services where they can get into those businesses. Some people we've had use these templates to start lead selling businesses where they generate the leads, sell the leads, or they subcontract all the work and they don't actually have anything but a call center, so to say. Right? Or if you wanted to get into e-commerce and you don't know how, you could sell a product you can easily get from China that our client sells and sell it in a country that our client's not in. Anyway, if you're interested in any of those other opportunities, let me know. GuaranteePPC.com is where you can have a conversation with me about that topic. So with that said, getting into the actual results here, for water damage restoration specifically, we were on average between all the other campaigns that I've set up, 5 different campaigns in 5 different markets now. Done that because A, we've been in business over a decade now here at the firm, but B, so hard to get results in that unless you're going to work with a true ad specialist that just lives, breathes, and eats running ads, you're going to be chewed up and spit out, and you're wasting your time. And most ad specialists don't get results either. 90% of the people that you're going to have run your ads for you aren't going to be able to get results. That's because a lot of them don't charge very much, so they can't afford to do anything that you need to do. All this stuff costs money and it costs time, and it's thousands a month, not hundreds. That said, $300 a lead is about what we're able to get. And for most businesses, that will work. That, if you're decent about answering the phone, you ain't having a stupid call center answering your phone or having some bored secretary answering the phone that don't care whether you get a job or not, you'll be able to close 25% of those calls roughly and have a 20% marketing cost at the end of that. Why? Because some of these jobs are going to turn into construction. The construction is going to be a big job, and you're going to have commercial and this. And that should be you get a 20% marketing cost. A lot of guys don't want to do it because they can say, oh, Corey, I can get a referral from somebody and I only have to pay $700 for the referral. And that's a closed job. Yeah, okay, fine. If you want to go ahead, there's no problem with that. Go find all the referral sources, maintain the relationships with them, or you could just get the ads working, have a little bit less margin, but you don't have to maintain any relationship. You don't have to train anybody to maintain relationship. And once it works, the upside of all this is, yes, it's a pain in the ass to get it up and going. It'll take you a lot of markets, I should say, 12 months of turning on the campaign, the way that I said, before you're at a 20% marketing cost. But once it works, baby, it works and 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 it works. And you're going to be using it for the next decade plus because your ads are so much better than all the competition. Google's going to get more and more familiar with it. They're going to pour it on more and more as a result. Because it's so good, you spent the proper time to crush everybody in your market properly. Nobody else is going to really, and people by default, they're lazy and arrogant. They don't want to admit that something they need to do more to make their ads work. So you are just not doing that. You're going to get most of the profit for yourself. Google's going to consistently want to make your ad bigger and bigger over time because it's doing so much better over the other competitors in terms of click-through rate and then the conversion rate on your landing page. You'll just keep making more money. Once you're over break even, you should be jumping up and down for joy because it's only going to get more profitable from then on. But you have to fight it out in the beginning because if it didn't take fighting it out in the beginning, it wouldn't be worth it getting in the first place. Nothing in life that's worth anything is easy to get. Nothing. Or practically nothing, we'll say. This is absolutely no different. So those are the numbers that we're able to get consistently. Now, that said, I mentioned at the start of this video that there's a pretty big difference in your cost per lead and your ROI that you can get as a result in some markets over others. So we've had where the marketing cost was 35% of the job where they had to pay an advertising cost in some markets. That was the worst case that we had after a 12-month period. Some markets we're talking about 10, 12% though. So there's a range to it. If you truly only want to spend 10% of what your sales in terms of advertising to get the sales, then I would say, yes, you can do it if you're able and willing to be patient enough to optimize your ads for 12 plus months, or just go and try to get referrals because that's an easier route to go. My thing is, why settle for just one source of revenue? And for that matter, the worst number in business is always one. Why are you going to settle for one channel? Get referrals going, then get your ads working. Once you have money coming in and excess profit coming from your referrals, then get your ads working. Invest what you can afford to lose up front with your ads. That is to get them working for that first 12 months. If you can afford to spend $3,000 a month for the first 12 months to get it profitable, then that's what you do. In some cases, though, we're able to get it profitable and get that 20% marketing cost 3 to 6 months. So I don't want to say it's going to be 12 months. Just what I don't want to convey here is in 3 months, you're going to get a 20% marketing cost from this because it generally isn't that easy. It's so competitive, it's going to take a little bit more time running your ads. But what you do is you take your ad spend, whatever you can so-called afford to lose, that is afford to spend on ads so that you're not going to go broke even if it takes you 2 years to do, and keep investing, keep optimizing, keep investing, keep optimizing, and as if your life depended on it. And if you didn't get to a 20% marketing cost, the government would come behead you and you'll make it work. And it might be month 3, it might be month 6, might be not month 9, it might be month 12. But regardless of how long it takes there, and whether you have to spend $50K to get it to break even, you're going to be making 100 plus K a year every year for the next 10 years. And so your return is over 2,000% when you zoom out and you look at it from that particular angle. So another way to put this is pay-per-click ads are not really for people that are just startups. You got to have money to feed the system at the beginning, feed the beast. It'll pay off. It's just, it takes a lot of money to get into it is the main thing there that you need to know if you're going to get into this, or if you want it to work right, you have to invest proper money into the setup that I talked about. It's not cheap. Then you got to put money into ad spend, but it will generally always work. I've never not got it to work in any of the markets that we were in. It's the only thing that the differentiator was, how long did it take it to work to get to a 20% marketing cost? Did it take 3 months or did it take 24 months? Because it just, depending on the level of competition in a market, because there's different advertisers with different levels of quality of campaigns and landing pages in one city versus another. One city, there might be really stiff competition with guys who really know what they're doing and really put time in on their campaigns. And there's other markets where everybody's just half-assing it completely. And then you can get your 20% marketing cost goal in 3 months. So, and then on top of it, like I was saying before, and to go back into what I was saying as to, doing campaigns for mold remediation and fire damage restoration and the crime scene stuff, I would recommend starting there. Nowadays, if a new restoration service company comes to me, I say start with those because you're going to return on investment faster than with water. Because even though people would love to just do the water because the business model is so freaking simple, you're going to be paying more money up front to hit minimum profitability. And for that matter, you could start with one, get it profitable, then do the next, then the next, and just waterfall it one into the other. If you're going to do mold, a lot of people hate doing mold because they're like, every call you get, sometimes they're just wasting your time. It's like they're so spoiled. They think that unless they want somebody to call and just instantly buy it. If they don't, it's a big pain in the ass to deal with. The reality is, again, if it were that easy, everybody would do it. With mold, that's what people mostly think, but it's just as profitable as the other services. You just have to set your campaign up and you have to be able to have a good sales process to get a good closing rate and so forth, which doesn't have to be extraordinary. You can get 15, 20% or 20% of them that close and still make good money. Generating leads for less than what you can get with water. We can get leads for $150 a pop. The trick there is to target keywords if you want better quality leads, not mold removal, but mold remediation, just a small tip, and get that going. Fire, there's not much volume in that. I mean, you can set it up, but it's not usually worth starting there because the volume is just really not that much. It's more so like icing on the cake. Then crime scene stuff, you may not even do it, but that's a highly lucrative space that really does well. I would recommend starting there or in mold technically as a result of that, not in the water. But if you're hell-bent on getting the water to work, you can get it to work. Like I said, it might take a little longer to get to a 20% marketing cost though as a result. So with that said, really want to know which area to start with, how to do this exactly. Are you set up well for it? Reach out to me and consider getting a 30-minute coaching call. I've been working with not only just agency owners on this channel, people who watch this channel, the agency owners, but also regular business owners like yourself that may own a restoration services company. And I go through everything that particular person has, the sales process, the tracking, the website quality, the ads themselves, the pricing strategy. And I'll analyze all of it and I'll find out where the bottleneck is. I'm able to do that 95% of the time accurately to let you know what you're stuck on to be able to get yourself to the next level in terms of revenue. and I mentioned this and I started doing these coaching calls because a lot of you guys aren't ready to run ads, or it's not the ad platform that's the problem. It's your website or your pricing strategy or whatever. And that second pair of eyes can help you figure out what you need to do so you don't quit wasting your time trying to make the ads work when that's not the main thing holding you back. Every single person who's gotten a coaching call from me in the last 6 months since I started doing the coaching calls has come back for another call. I'd be happy to give you plenty of references of people that prove we're able to uncork their business like that. But if you're interested in that, reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. With that said, I'm pretty much going to wrap it up with that. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and I'll see you in the next one. Good luck with your campaigns.
Remember when I said click fraud was important during this video? Well, this video here tells you how to do it.